I want to talk about a face mask that are really unhealthy for you, actually.
All right.
Okay? Well, before we get into this one. Well, Dylan, what do you think? These lands. What do you think? Are face masks health? I mean, you got a full beard. How does that work for you?
Oh, man, I got the whole forwarded email thing several times about everybody needs to shave their beards, and I was like, nah, I think I'm good.
Yeah.
As far as the face mask thing, man, I mean, it's tough. There's footage of Dr. Fauci about 2 weeks before they made the mandate from that committee. Mm-hmm. Him saying, you know what, when you think of face masks, you need to think we need to save these for medical personnel and people that need them.
Right. And then
he said
the flip flop.
You don't need them if you're outside. You don't need them, and they're really not that helpful. And in fact, they can harm you in ways that you're gonna be touching your face more, and I don't know. So it's tough. I get why they could possibly help if you're wearing it right and you don't touch it and you put a new one on.
Well, you're out of Nashville, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, the Metro Public Board and Health of Nashville has moved to enforce a new mandatory mask order to the city of Nashville and Davidson County in the next 48 hours.
Sick. What if I went like this?
Okay.
It's like,
there you go. If he just uses his beard to cover the mouth, I love it.
That's crazy.
The board decided in a special session today, okay,
Is that right?
that there should be an order drafted up by 5 p.m., which it's past now. But, I'm sorry, 5 p.m. Sunday. They're going to have this all set up for you.
Okay, that's great.
That will mandate face coverings or masks in public. Sorry, bro.
Interesting.
Follow the money. Who's selling the masks?
It's the truth.
Are they in council? Who did any of these voted on that? I gotta know.
I don't know about who's selling the masks.
No, I know.
But it's just like they say, follow the science. I don't want to listen to this politician. I want to listen to this science. But then we change our minds 3 months later, and it's like, well, what about the science that you were telling me about 3 months ago?
I'm glad you brought up the science, too. Oh, by the way, this is masks in public, both indoors and outdoors. Okay.
Interesting.
Okay.
Hey,
Nashville, you want to move out? Come on up to Clarksville.
Yeah.
Come on up. Low numbers when it comes to this crap. You know why? Because we're not cheap. We're not cheap. I know. You know how much hate we're going to get for stuff like that?
I don't know, man. Y'all live more spread out. I mean, it's not a major city like.
Here's the thing. I do events. I do all my gigs.
Yeah.
All the trivias, all the game shows and everything. Hugging away. Staying healthy. Take zinc. Take zinc. Take vitamin D. Okay? Apple cider vinegar with the mother. Be healthy. Well, yeah, sure. Wash your hands. Sure. Once in a while, put on that Germ-X or whatever. Don't overdo it. But I'm glad you brought up the health stuff. Because my question, Dylan, is it really unhealthy? There's this video that's going viral. Let me pull this up for you. Sorry, Biggie. We'll put you on pause there. Take a look at this. You tell me what you think. Let's see what we got. All right. So you see what's on the screen there? There's this guy. Check what he's doing.
I'm going to do a little test here today. A lot of people are saying they're getting headaches and stuff from wearing the mask that they're requiring us to wear pretty much everywhere we go. And I'm going to test oxygen level under a mask using an OSHA-approved air quality monitor that tests for oxygen levels, hazardous gas levels, LEL, CO, NH3, H2S, stuff like that. This monitor is bump tested every day. It's calibrated every 30 days. OSHA requires 19.5% oxygen to work in a space. Look it up. Normal oxygen levels is anywhere from 20 to 21, right in that area. So I'm gonna do a little test here. I'm gonna put the sampling tube at the corner of my mouth, and I'm not exerted. I'm just standing here. So we're gonna put it right here. That's going straight to the air quality monitor. And we'll see what the oxygen level is. So I've got 20.5. Okay, 20.6. That is the oxygen level without the mask. Now I'm going to set the camera down, put a mask on. Okay. Do the same test, hose in the same spot. You can hear the alarm going off. That means that there is a hazardous atmosphere. And we'll see what the levels are. 17.4. 17.5, it's starting to go back up. Okay. It's going to clear at 19.5. And that's what is required to work in a space. So, if you're wondering about headaches and stuff like that, there's why. Because you're not getting enough oxygen. If you're exerted, working, running, whatever the case may be, it's only going to get worse from there. So, you know, it is what it is. You're not going to see this on the news because they don't want you to know this on the news. So take it for what it's worth.
Thank you, sir, for that information. Okay? So like I was saying, is it unhealthy to be wearing a mask? And now you'll be forced to wear a mask. Same thing's happening in Shelby County, Memphis. Bang!
What up?
Remember Brandy? Brandy was on the show, right? You know, Operation Come Together, right? Who wears a mask, right? You know what happened to her?
She passed out and hit
She passed out
and hit
from wearing the mask.
And concrete.
And knocked out and the whole bit.
Her face.
Right.
I wear a bandana.
These new numbers that are being put out. New spikes in COVID. Death rate is plummeting. Just be careful what information you take, including ours. Do your own research. Oh, Florida and Texas. Right, Bang? What's happening in Florida and Texas?
Oh, they closed the bars down.
For what, Bang?
COVID.
Why?
They say there was an increase. More cases.
Yeah, you know what? Do you know what those cases are? More testing, okay? And how come nobody's putting this out? What was happening? All those protests?
Yeah.
Okay?
In two of the major states, Texas and Florida, was, you know.
And you know what's funny? In New York, a couple of years ago, didn't they pass that law that you can't wear a mask at a protest?
Yeah. I remember that.
Now they want you to.
Interesting.
I don't wear a mask because
I don't know if that's irony or if that's planned. I thought the same thing. It just doesn't feel right.
How do you?
Something about it just doesn't.
How do you
sit
control
right.
a population? Fear. Fear.
That's only the scared ones.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Tell you, there's a lot of scared people out there. My family included. I talked to my sisters who are in Jersey. They are fearful. They are scared.
Of what?
Of the COVID.
Oh.
You know who's not scared?
Who?
My father. All right. Who works in
like
a
everybody.
veterans nursing home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, he was in the he was in the Air Force and everything. He was in Vietnam, and when he finished with his business and everything, and supposed to retire, but he can't because he's old school. Go works at this veterans home to help his battle buddies.
Good for him, man.
Not scared. Not scared. You don't have to be scared if you're well informed. If you're able to have a conversation. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Take precaution. If you're wearing those masks, something ain't right.
And you getting a headache?
I think that guy explained it very well. Duh, lack of oxygen. It's all right. All right, what else do I got? Yeah, friggin' Memphis is doing it. That's unreal.
Yeah, you just gotta think about like, is it kind of pros and cons situation?
Yes,
you know,
it is.
Same thing with the quarantine.
Yeah.
Stay home.
Nah,
Keep your sick self with sick people in your house.
Nah, remember the quarantine was so the church, I mean not the church, but the hospital won't get over.
Right.
overpacked.
I got that.
You know what I'm saying? But then everybody stay in the house.
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
And the hospitals didn't get overrun. And I'll tell you what, and the ones that are getting sick, these numbers that are coming out, again, a stats guy, it's ages 20 to 35. Strong. And people with underlying conditions, or underlying health conditions already, are the ones going to the hospital, even the young ones in that age demographic.
There's like almost no deaths. There's like
Right.
only a couple deaths in that age group in the state. So, man, yeah. A lot to think about.
A lot to think about, Dylan. A lot to say about it, too.
And then, like I tell people,
What's that, Bay?
it's more people on this earth than have been throughout the years of other diseases. So expect more deaths that happen. You know?
Did you see this, too?
Interesting.
We were talking about Joe Biden earlier. All right. Joe Biden, I will force Americans to wear masks in public if elected. So, former Vice President Joe Biden said yesterday that he would compel Americans to wear masks in public if elected president.
Yeah.
Compel and force are different.
Well, here,
words.
check this out. I hear you. Yep, I don't want to put it out of fake news. Okay, you know what, Dill? I'm glad you said that. Let me go over the interview.
Okay.
This was with
I'd love to hear this. I haven't heard
CBS in Pittsburgh. Okay.
Yeah.
See, do your research, people. The media won't put this out. So he's being questioned during this the CBS interview, and let me pull up the transcript of this interview. Okay. Okay. Question. I know you've been critical of the president's handling of the pandemic in the past, but let's look ahead, says the reporter. Okay, the reporter continues. If you become president tomorrow, what would you do differently regarding the pandemic and getting these surging cases now under control? Joe Biden replies with this. I would go back to making sure that everybody had masks, that you had PPE lined up. We'd have been making sure we stockpile all the things that we need that we don't have now. The one thing we do know, these masks make a gigantic difference. I would insist that everybody out in public be wearing the mask. Anyone to reopen would have to make sure they walked in their business that had masks. Question from the reporter, or the interviewer. Couldn't you use the federal leverage to mandate that, though? Biden goes, yes. The reporter goes, would you? Biden goes, yes, I would. From an executive standpoint, yes, I would. The reporter, so you would, in effect, mandate the wearing of masks. Joe Biden says this, I would do everything possible to make it required that people had to wear masks in public. End quote. You don't hear that on the mainstream media.
That ain't gonna happen, Captain.
And then Biden fumbled with his mask in public. You should have seen.
Yeah, it's tough.
He struggled with his own mask. Yeah.
This would be laughing at them politicians.
It's a logical dilemma because you get built up these stats and different standpoints, then you're kind of stuck. If you're in his situation, you kind of have to say I'm going to mandate it because everything else you've said led to I need to wear the mask.
But then again,
so why would you say not?
Here's my thing. And if you see it or hear it, I believe he's reading a script.
of course,
Okay?
most of them do.
I think
Yeah.
he's,
Oh, they prep for this stuff.
here's your talking points. But I don't even know if he's writing it anymore. Again, his brain, I feel bad for this man. He should be retired. They are propping him up as if it's Weekend at Bernie's, the movie. Okay?
But then again,
I've
uh,
definitely
that-
heard.
that's another step that the federal government over state government. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you.
I prefer the state to the.
to determine. Yeah,
Yep.
state rights versus federal rights.
Yep.
Fine. I hear you, Bay. But do you see this? They have these face mask exempt cards that are going around. Don't buy it. They're fake.
I'm not gonna buy a face.
They're fake.
No.
Face mask exempt card.
You
I am exempt from any ordinance requiring face mask usage in public.
let me. You don't know why I don't wear a mask
Why
in
is that,
public?
Bay?
Because I grew up in the 80s and 90s. I'm a black male.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get You know what I'm saying?
I hear you, babe.
No, I'm
I'm
paranoid of wearing a mask. No lie.
You wear one while you work as a cook, right?
As soon as I
because
get
you
off,
have to, right?
Yeah. As soon as I get out, walk outside the door, take it off.
And it gets hot in that kitchen. Mm-hmm. Have you felt a difference?
Yeah, I know a difference.
Since before not wearing a mask and now wearing a mask? Well,
yeah. Because it get all hot, you know. No, I'm not a doctor.
Doctor.
I'm a cook.
You know what, too, man? Something like that just builds anxiety. You know, you got something strapped on your face. Most people aren't used to that.
Do you know, going back to my father at the Veterans Home, okay? In February, they told him he couldn't wear the mask because because they said that it would scare the residents.
Because, okay, I gotcha.
Right. Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Well, the thing, too, that's really upsetting about this whole deal is how polarizing it is and how partisan this is. And
Very.
That's
what they want it to be.
Make your own decisions, people.
Right.
You know,
they want it to be partisan.
Yeah. It's not political. It's a health issue.
Notice mainstream media never really tells you, hey, here's information.
Yeah.
You don't have to take our word for it. Yeah. Do your own research.
At times, yeah.
They go like this. You come to us. We got the facts. Right. That's why I say I want real facts.
Not fiction.
I want real opinions.
Not made up.
You know?
Not scripted.
Yeah. I've been realizing the last couple weeks, too, man, is like, you know, I learned because I went to broadcasting school, too, and I learned that all news is political or partisan, and all media is going to be that way and have a side, and I'm starting to realize now more and more that social media is the same thing as any other media.
It's the worst. Well, people think that is where the information, you know, that like it's worse than Wikipedia. as for factual correct. And another thing I don't care about the social media when arguing stories or topics or ideas or visions is you lose the face-to-face. You know, and it's too easy to just angrily type something or angrily copy and paste instead of just feeling energy.
Humanity's lost, man. You lose the humanity of the person you're with, and you know, I've been trying to bring this up to friends. It's like any of this stuff, this political stuff or the race stuff, this needs to come down to conversations like we're having now.
Exactly.
And just building relationships with people, because otherwise you are basing all your arguments off stereotypes and things that don't matter. You know, you need to start from some common ground and have a relationship to trust somebody with your feelings or your thoughts on something.
Right.
So, I don't know. All this is so tough nowadays, and having to be in the public sphere.
But we have the solution.
What's that?
Actual conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
Removing the fear of being wrong.
Totally.
What we talked about earlier.
That's the problem.
Teach me.
That's the problem with people.
Right.
They don't like being told that they're wrong.
And here's the thing too. They've committed to one side already. Take like with Bubba Wallace. He committed to that news story. Then he was trying to backpedaling by saying it's still a news.
No, it's not.
But
I got a news at the house. I can show it.
Right. It wasn't a news.
You know what I'm saying?
But I'm proud of what he just did. He said, I'm sorry.
He did.
The guy said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It was misinterpreted. I'm sorry. That was cool. That shows that, hey, listen, I get it. I get it. It's tough. You put all your chips in. You put all your chips in. You want it. You want a huge return. Don't put all your chips in. Just nice and easy. All right. Gamble properly. No, don't even gamble. Invest properly. I'm not just talking about money. I'm talking about your mind. Invest your mind properly. Freaking wackadoos tearing down statues, and you don't even know your history. You have not invested your mind properly. That does not create a solution. Conversation does. Sit downs does. Going through a process does.